The day is finally upon us. That's right. Your favorite Bastion main is about to give you the most useful guide that you will find on YouTube, in my opinion. And I have a pretty good opinion, okay? In my opinion, I do. What's up, my little meat whackers? I've been getting a lot of requests for a guide on Bastion. A lot of people come to me asking me how they should be playing Chappie, if I have a guide, if I'm going to make a guide. Well, here it is. This is just for you, exclusively you. Thank you for asking me. I'm honored. I'm happy to do it. I was able to play a few ranked matches after stream to get some good examples of how you should be playing Chappie. I'm going to do my best to match those samples up with what I'm going to talk about right now. Let's get into it. The official Rebel Dottie Bastion guide. First things first, let's talk about his kit. Your primary fire is a automatic machine gun that works well in range, long, medium, short, any range, I should say. Obviously, there's a lot of better, like, long-range primary fires in the game. You're looking at Ash, you're looking at Widowmaker, you're looking at Hanzo. He's not the best sniper in the game, not by a long shot, but it still works pretty well, and it's pretty serviceable, especially if you're trying to pick off the support if you don't have your turret ready. The turret is the main part of your kit. This is where you're going to get most of your value. It has a limited ammo. You're in there for quite a while, cruising around. Basically, any 1v1 against a squishy, you're going to win unless it's a hard counter. I'll get into who and what those are. You're going to use it frequently, almost every time you get it. And it also will reload your primary gun. Shoot your primary gun, don't reload, immediately go into your turret, finish your turret. Once you're out of your turret, your primary gun is already reloaded. So don't waste your time reloading that gun if you're going into your turret. I know it's probably a habit you've already picked up to do that. Use that to your advantage. His turret's an absolute tank shredder, but most teams will know that, so you'll often have to use it to gun down the supports unless the tank is out of position or out of help. Remember that. I'm going to get more into what target priority you should have. Most of the time, I am talking about your turret. Your primary gun is just a backup, more or less. His sticky grenade is definitely the most complicated part of his kit because, believe you me, he is not a simple character. He seems like a simple character, but he is far from it. In order to perform well with him, you need to be smart. I'm talking about once you start climbing and you're in higher elos and ranks, it's not a simple gameplay anymore. He is very complicated. Learn to use him correctly. His sticky grenade is an important part of his kit. It may not seem like it, but it is great for finishing off people that are on the run. Say you've melted the Soldier 76 down to 15 health and he sprints away. He drops his health thing and sprints away. Just get as much as he can. What you need to do in that situation is ricochet that bad boy. You want to bounce it off a neighboring wall and stick it to him. That stick is going to do a lot. It's going to do damage with the impact, and it's going to do damage with the explosion. That's where I find myself using it most. But use it frequently. You get it back very quickly. Use it in groups of people. Use it at the start of fights. Use it after you use your sentry. Just use it when you have it. If you know you're in a 1v1, maybe don't use it right away unless you think it'll be advantageous. You can use it with your primary fire. You can use it in your turret form. Get to know the ricochet spots. Get to know how the ball travels. It can be unpredictable, even for me, as much as I play him. Eventually it'll come naturally to you. You'll know when to use it. Focus on the groups. Focus on the 1v1s. Use it smartly. It can do a lot. It can win you fights. His ult is very controversial. I can say it's good. It has its uses, but it is the most situational ult I can think of. It's going to get buffs, but as of right now, you can only really use it in tight spaces because it's so easy to escape from or to clear the point. They have the audio cue when you use it. They can see it on the ground around them. It doesn't come down very quickly, so most people are going to be able to run away. Obviously, you can counter it with other heroes like Zarya, Reinhardt, Mei, Lamau. She's out of the game right now. So look to do that. Talk to your partners. Let them know you're going to do that. Also, you're very vulnerable when you're in your ult. So when you're in your ult, make sure you're in good positioning. Don't do it out in the open. Find an area where nobody has seen where you are, then use it. Be very smart with his ult, and you can get some value. You're not going to see a lot of team wipes with it. That's very hard to do, but it is possible, almost exclusively with combos or extreme overtime situations. Our little robo homie works well in practically any comp. Not all of them. Dive comps are not great for Chappie. Obviously, you have no mobility outside of a rocket jump, which you can do with your sticky bomb. I don't recommend it in most situations. It does hurt you. It can get you out of some situations, and it can improve your mobility a little bit, but it's largely a meme. taking that into consideration, you can still work well in dive comps, but your main strategy for positioning with Chappie is being with your team. You're going to want to be right behind your team or right beside your healers, especially if it's a dive comp. You want to be with your healers. That Monkey, that Wrecking Ball, that Diva will come back. They will bullet sponge for you a little bit as your healers are healing them, so take advantage of that. Probably stick with the healers if it is a dive comp. A lot of people don't primarily use dive comps, so unless it's like a game time situation or something. In any normal comp, one that's just everybody using their best characters, their starters, you want to be as close to the tank as possible. The tank is going to take hits for you. You're going to take hits for the tank. Your healers are going to be right there. They should be with your tank. Your other DPS should be there. The best fights you're going to have in this game, the best chances you'll have are in team fights. A full 5v5. Obviously, there's some exceptions to this. Sombra, any kind of flanker, Tracer, Reaper, what have you. Although I find that Reapers work best if they just stay with their team, in my opinion. Most of the time. Live in the tank's butthole and you will survive. Stay with that man. If he dies, you're probably your team's last line of defense because of the damage output you can do, but you're also very big and take shots very easily, so you depend on your team. It's a team game. I shouldn't have to tell you this, but you depend on your team. Stay with them. Stay with the tank. Oftentimes, when I find myself chasing a kill, I try not to do it too often, but it happens. We're all human. I will remind myself I need to get back to my tank. I died there because I wasn't with them. My team is doing something else. Your tank is your first line of defense. Stay with them and you guys will thrive. Occasionally, you might find yourself flanking with Chappie. This is not going to work well for you. You're very loud. You're very slow. They're probably going to hear you. The only time it'll work is if you're finding an unaware player that's out of position. Obviously, this doesn't happen too often. And if it does happen the one time, it's probably not going to happen the second time. They're going to be kicking themselves for being flanked by a Chappie, but you'll probably win that fight. I've done it many times and it's fucking hilarious. So it's definitely possible. Your target priority is a little bit different from other DPS because of the damage output you can get on tanks. It's complicated. It's largely going to depend on who's in the match. If there's a Mercy or any other healer pocketing the tank, get her out of there. You can damage that tank more than anybody else in the game. Focus that Mercy, get in your turret mode and shoot her out of the sky. You are hit scan. It should be easier for you. Don't sweat it. Just focus her. If you have to, make her switch. I'm sorry that sounds brutal, but you're in our way. You're hurting our job. You gotta die. Maybe play somebody else. Play Lucio or something, who's also very fun to kill with Chappie. He's a real test of your aim. This isn't always the case. If you're being countered, a light counter or a hard counter, say it's a Pharah, you're probably going to want to go after that Pharah first. Find the Pharah because she's probably looking for you, especially if she's switched at some point in the match. She's probably playing her to go after you. Save your turrets for her. Save your turrets for the Reaper. You're basically limiting that match to a 5v4 because you're saving your turret because you know they're going to press you and you're going to just wipe that far out of the sky. Even if she has a Mercy on her, if they're doing the far Mercy, you're going to kill her so quick the Mercy can't even heal her. If the light counter and the Mercy are both dead, maybe the enemy team has ego picked you. And ego pick is where the enemy copies who you're playing. Now, this can happen very often with Chappie because people might not realize their skill, but do not sweat it. You're better than them. This is your main. You started the match with them. You know you're capable of beating them. They wanted to play somebody else, and they were forced into this. So play smart. Remember the rules and destroy them, probably first. If you're in that fight, the main fight, the 5v5, I would try to make sure they die. If the supports are really strong, get them first. If there's a Reinhardt in front of him, take down the shield. Hopefully your tank's doing their job sponging. Take down that Reinhardt shield. Get that Chappie. You're going to want to kill him because he's trying to kill you because he's pissed. He's tilted. He wouldn't have changed if he wasn't super mad at you for what you were doing to his team and him or her or them. On top of that, so you got the Mercy, you got the Pharah, and you got the Chappie. This team fight's basically already over because you're just shredding it right now. Now you can go for the tank. There's some fights where the supports aren't doing their jobs and you're able to just kill the tank almost immediately. If that tank gets caught out of position, you are going to shred them. I don't care which tank it is, except for one hard counter. Hint, hint, we'll get to that. But that's kind of a general rule for DPS. For most characters, the supports have to go. They're juicing those tanks. You want to kill them. You're the tank buster. You cannot. You have to get rid of those supports. Do not sleep on that. You're wasting time. It's not hard to get 20,000 damage with Chappie Anybody can do it. It's about the elims. That is what this game is about. I want to see you get 40 kills. That's what I want. I don't want you to get 20,000 damage. I want 20,000 damage and 40 kills. I want 10,000 damage and 40 kills. You're killing everybody you're fighting. That's what I want out of you. That's what your team is going to love, and that's how you're going to provide any sort of value. So take that into consideration. Don't go gloating and boasting about your high damage. Everybody's getting high damage with Chappie. He's got a very, very high damage output. Like I said, you, my friend, are the best tank buster in the game. There's no one better. Anybody that argues that is full of some malarkey bullshit. You are number one. I know that. You know that. Guess what? The enemy team knows that. They know that. They're aware of that. They don't like that you're here. They want their tank to survive. Their tank is their first and last line of defense. They are the heart and soul of that team. Especially in comp, you're gonna get countered pretty frequently, if not every single match at some point. You need to be aware of that. Remember that. They are going to counter you. Be prepared for that going into every single match. I'm not exaggerating. Unfortunately for you and myself, Bastion has a lot of mates, maybe more than anyone else, and this is why maybe some people don't like playing him or don't think he's even worth any of the effort to learn how good he really can be, because he is easily countered, but there's only some that make that possible. These are your hard counters. You could stop the hard counters sometimes, but not all the time. The smart ones, you won't be able to stop no matter what you do, and you need to accept that. You have some ways of surviving some of those fights, but they're smart. You're smart, but they might be smarter. You have to learn to accept that. These are the big three I think you need to look out for. Sigma, Genji, and Reaper. Those three are going to fuck you up more than anything. I would consider Pharah a light counter. You have your turret. Remember that. I would consider Soldier a light counter. I've killed soldiers in the middle of their ult with my turret. It just shreds so quickly, and it can be very tilting to pop an ult, not get the support you need, and just die to a Bastion like what? A good Echo is also a really strong counter, but you don't see them often, let alone a good one. So be careful of that. If you see an Echo fucking shit up, she can basically take you out of the game, just like any of those other three. I can already see you typing away, asking me, okay, Dottie, so they're in the game, and I think I could take them. I want to try to take them. I can't switch yet. I'm almost to my ult. What do I do? Well, for Sigma, he's going to get the most benefit out of using his suck. No matter what you do, he's going to trick you with a suck, but you can try to bait it out. You're going to want to use your primary fire to light him up, get him to use the suck prematurely, wait for the suck to end, and then fire off your turret. Unfortunately, his suck is very strong against you. Most of the time, they're going to realize what you're doing, and you're going to have to switch eventually anyways, if they're smart. If it's a Genji, he's definitely your biggest hard counter because of how big you are. That's where most of these hard counters are getting their value, except for Sigma. Well, even Sigma, I mean, it hits those balls on you easily, and they hurt. Genji is going to deflect your turret. Be ready for that. Wait for him to hit the deflect. You could basically stop right there. Hit your sticky bomb. Now, this is going to be really complicated. You want to hit your sticky bomb off of a wall or onto the floor, because then you're at least doing some damage to this Genji. At the same time, I want you screaming and crying into your mic, help me, the Genji's on me, help me, and get your supports, your other DPS, your tanks there to help you, because he's going to slash right through you and kill you pretty quickly, unfortunately. Try your best, do some damage with your bomb, and pray that you hit some headshots when he's done with his reflection. For Reaper, you're going to save your turret for him every time. He's going to come looking for you every single team fight. If he's staying close to his team, this trick might not help you as much, but if he's seeking you out, going away from his team, use your turret as soon as he shows up. You start shredding him, and he'll go invisible. Follow his invisibility. You can even keep shooting. It doesn't matter. You have infinite ammo. Once he comes out of the invisibility, you're going to shred him so quick he's not going to be able to kill you. Unless he pushes too close. You need to make sure that you have distance on him. Never get closer to the Reaper. Keep him in your line of sight and be ready to blast him when he comes out of his invisibility, and you can kind of shut him down. He's the easiest of the hard counters to defeat if they're not smart. If they're playing with their team, you probably won't be able to do this because they're telling their team, and their team is lasering you and punishing you for trying to punish him. This will be the toughest pill you're going to have to swallow out of this video. If you're being hard countered and they're tossing you around, you need to switch. I am telling you, if you've died 3 times in a row and they're just pushing that payload up and down, doing whatever they want, this is a 5v5 game. If you're not giving anything to your team, if you're not helping at all, you need to switch. I know he's your main. I know you love him. I know you want to play him, but you need to learn the starter system. Now, this is the best tip I can give anybody. I am a Bastion main. You know I'm a Bastion main. I market myself as such. But the starter system, and I mentioned this before, helps me win games. My starter, like my first string, my starring quarterback is Chappie. It's Bastion. I will start almost every single game, unless a map is very good for a certain character, with Bastion. If I'm playing the game and I'm not performing, and I have to be self-aware of that, I don't want my shitty-ass, random, meanie, bobini, jerk teammates to give me that news. I want to be aware of when I'm playing badly. I need to criticize my own gameplay. I switch to a counter. They're countering me. That's probably why I'm playing badly, because I'm badass, dude. It's never a skill issue, okay? And I'm talking about you right now. It's not your fault. They countered you. Now you counter them. I want you to find 5 heroes you can be good with. Try to diversify. Think about what they'd be strong against, and these can change over time depending on the meta. If there's a lot of Genjis, which there is right now, because of that, my first switch is usually Mei or Torbjorn. They're very good against Genji. I have a lot of success. I can maybe stop them from playing Genji, unless they're a real big prick, and they might just switch back, even if I go back to Chappie. And if that's not working, I go to my third string. My third string is just another hero I'm comfortable with, whether it's Pharah or Soldier. I have a lot of experience in most DPS. That one can be anything, or Reaper even. Just something that's going to benefit your team. You need to be aware of when you're selling. Don't be a sellist. Do that for me, please. You don't give Bastions a bad name. Don't be hard stuck on Bastion. You need to accept when to move on. Just for that match. The next match, you're back in it. Well, I think I've said a lot about our favorite little robot friend. Everything in this guide should help you to succeed in some way or another. You should be more knowledgeable on how to be playing Chappie. I know that for a fact. I've broken this down to a science. Use this information and rock the scoreboard of every lobby you're in. Be careful, be smart, never throw because you refuse to switch, and learn the counters to your counters. Be prepared to play them a little bit. Play your counters. Go into a quick play. Stop playing comp for a few matches. Go into a quick play and see how Genji really plays. Find his weaknesses. Find his strengths. You're also going to want to be ready for a lot of solo ults to be used on you. This happens way too much. You've tilted somebody on the enemy team. You're the best tank buster in the game. You're ruining something for them. You're ruining their main source of victory. They will solo out you. They will save that for you. So be ready for that. It's going to happen a lot. You're going to get a lot of Beyblades from Reaper on you. You're going to get a lot of rocket barrages from Pharah. It's good though. You're wasting an ult for them. You have to die, but they wasted an ult, and your team can use their ults now, because you usually get them around the same time, you know, if it's a fair fight. I have one last piece of advice. The biggest piece of advice. If you have any more questions, or you just want to see more Chappie gameplay from me, make sure to peep the stream. Come ask me on stream. I stream every day as of right now. Who knows how long the stream will go for. So come through, ask me questions, or comment in this video any more questions you might have. I can field anything. It's an AMA. If you want to know how good Chappie would look in a 3-piece suit, I have some opinions on that. Feel free to ask. I'm here for you, bud, because you're always here for me. You're always watching the videos, and I love making them. I put a lot of effort into my videos, especially this video, so I really hope you like it and take something from it. And if you didn't, that's all right. You can tell me in the comments why you think I play Bastion wrong. I will probably disagree with you, but I also respect your opinion. Maybe you'll shine a light in my brain, and I'll be better with Bastion. I don't know if Overwatch wants that, though. I don't know if they want that. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Go back here. Do one of these.
As far as just starting.
Oh, the triple! Oh no, it was a stupid immortality. I hate that shit, dude.
Yay! I'm trying to heal fucking Cassidy. They're not even on our fucking in our game, okay.
Nice, dude. Chippy.
This